The relationship between a mother and daughter is one that is a common occurrence in everyday life. However, the representation of these relationships is one that is rarely explored on screen or in culture. There are of course some films that do delve into this relationship to serve as the main subject matter of the story. I have chosen 3 relationships from films to further analyse in order to decipher which is the best representation of mother-daughter relationship displayed on screen. These are Donna and Sophie Sheridan from 2008's Mamma Mia and the 2018 sequel Mamma Mia Here We Go Again, Lady Bird and Marion McPherson from 2017's Lady Bird, and finally Suzanne Vale and Doris Mann as featured in 1990's Postcards from the Edge. After doing some research, I slowly came to the realisation that, to me at least, the answer is a somewhat easy one. I believe that the best interpretation of a mother-daughter relationship from films that I've chosen is actually Donna and Sophie from Mamma Mia and its sequel. Now obviously, this is just me presenting an opinion, and in all honesty, any answer to this question would be seen as such, as there aren't any strict factors to which you can definitively rule to make one depiction of a relationship stand above the other. Because of this, I will be using this video to show you how I came to this conclusion using my findings and research. Therefore, I will focus primarily on the Mamma Mia films and then go on to see how well the other films I chose relate to them. One thing that I feel the Mamma Mia films exceed at showing is the similarities between Donna and Sophie, as well as the strong bond between them. It is easy to see the parallels between the two women on screen. They have similar friends and interact with them in similar ways. Donna and Sophie always put each other's feelings into consideration, and this is shown various times throughout the film. Donna puts Sophie and her happiness before anyone else, including herself. When she finds out that Sophie's 3 potential fathers are on the island at the time of her wedding, she wants them gone as she believes this would upset and stress Sophie, not knowing that Sophie actually secretly invited them here. This could be an example of Nancy Todorow's theory. Part of this theory, as stated by M.M. Kaplan, is that mother treats her daughter as an extension of herself and is unable to distinguish between her own needs and those of her child. Donna assumes that Sophie wouldn't want to see her father or learn the truth that she has 3 potential fathers, but this could also stem from Donna not wanting her to know, as she is the only one forcing the potential fathers away, whereas Sophie is trying to get them to stay.
School bag in hand, she leaves home in the early morning, waving goodbye with an absent-minded smile.
In this scene near the end of the first film, Donna realises that she will have to let her daughter Sophie go. She is moving on with her life, getting older, with a desire to explore beyond the island home with her fiancé Sky. In this musical segment, Donna dwells on her past with Sophie while singing Slipping Through My Fingers, a song that perfectly encapsulates a parent's grief as their child grows older and leaves the nest. The colour blue is very present in this segment. The clothing and the set is bathed in it, which could connote the sadness of the situation and how Donna doesn't want her daughter to grow up and move on. However, it is contrasted by the healthy orange glow of the lighting, showing the happiness she has for her daughter and how proud she is and how proud Sophie is of her mother.
Slipping through my fingers all the time, I try to capture every minute. I was cheated by you, and I think you know when. Look at me now.
Taking place 5 years after the original film, Mamma Mia Here We Go Again wastes no time in revealing to the audience that Donna has passed away a year ago.
This was her dream. I'm just trying to see it through. I wish she was here.
The core of the film is Sophie coming to terms with her mother's passing and honouring her legacy. The majority of things she does in the film is for Donna. Once again, this scene has heavily featured the use of the colour blue, which may represent the sadness Sophie has for her now-deceased mother. Throughout the film, she learns more about her mother's past, especially when she became pregnant with Sophie, and begins to relate to her mother's story, as she is herself now pregnant during the film.
My love, my life, are the words I try to find. My love, my life.
9 months after the main events of the film, and Sophie is about to baptise her newly born son. Before she enters the church, however, she confronts her grandmother Ruby, who is also Donna's mother.
I wish she was here.
She is.
While they discuss this, a band can be heard in the background playing an instrumental rendition of Slipping Through My Fingers. It is a reprise of the song Donna sang before learning to let go of her daughter, and as Sophie goes into the church, she will confront Donna's spirit, and finally be able to let her go after one last emotional duet, singing My Love, My Life.
My love, my life, in the mirror of your eyes. My love, my life.
It's a way of subtly foreshadowing the parallel situation, reminding the audience of the time Donna let go of her daughter to prepare them for Sophie letting go of her mother.
images passing by, like reflections of your mind.
Postcards from the Edge is a film about an actress, Suzanne, who after going through a drug overdose has had to move in with her mother, Doris, who is also an actress and performer, as an insurance policy to allow her to keep working on a new movie. The film is somewhat based on the life of the screenwriter of the film, Carrie Fisher, mostly known for her role as Princess Leia in the Star Wars films. She describes the film as fictional but with some real elements and experiences thrown in. The film concentrates on the conflict between the mother and the daughter, as backed up by Fisher in the audio commentary included in the film's DVD. But she also says that she tried to convey was that they really devoted to one another, whatever the concept may be. It really shows the differences between not only these two women, but the two generations they present. Suzanne is a very deadpan, sarcastic, with a darker sense of humour, but still very real, whereas Doris is high-hoped, idealistic and spiritual, though somewhat oblivious to some of the harsh realities of the world.
Okay, I'll stay with her. You
know what they say.
Great, fine.
No pain, no gain.
Well, no wonder I'm so hefty.
Hefty? Dear, if anything, you are too thin. Now me, my stomach,
Mother,
that's hefty.
I was kidding.
They are very different opposing personalities. Compared to Donna and Sophie's relationship in Mamma Mia, Suzanne and Doris are much more estranged from each other. They don't live together until Suzanne is forced to move back in with her mother and their relationship is much more on edge. They tend to bicker with each other a lot due to the nature of their character. They are polar opposites of one another, whereas Sophie and Donna are very similar in a lot of aspects, but with their own unique characteristics and personalities. Lady Bird is much more of a coming-of-age story than previous films I've covered in this video. It does have a very real and down-to-earth mother-daughter relationship though. One of the things that is kept mostly a mystery throughout the film is whether Marion is Lady Bird's birth mother. Her brother Miguel is adopted and he is not the same race as Marion or her husband, but Lady Bird, to call her by her real name Christine, is. The many ways in which she is different from her mother could be the result of adoption and could explain the mother's inability to effectively parent such a daughter. An adopted daughter with no ties to her birth family might have an extra incentive to change her name. Later in the film, when Marion is trying to write a goodbye letter to her daughter, eagle-eyed members of the audiences can see one of the attempted letters that Marion refers to her daughter as a happy accident, leading many to believe that Lady Bird's parents suffered fertility problems and as such adopted Miguel, but later in life became pregnant with Christine/Lady Bird. Both Donna and Marion are quite similar characters. They are both hard-working women as well as hard-working mothers that want the best for their children. They are very down-to-earth and realistic in their approaches to certain things, whereas their daughters are much more idealistic and free-spirited. Interestingly, this seems to be flipped in Postcards from the Edge, as daughter Suzanne is more set in reality and her mother Doris is more oblivious and optimistic character. Both the first Mamma Mia film, Lady Bird and arguably even Postcards serve as coming-of-age stories for the daughter character and focus heavily on the character of the daughter. But Mamma Mia is the only one of these films that features the mother character as a main character equal to that of the daughter. Donna's story is just as much as the part of the film identity as Sophie's, and they share a similar amount of screen time. They are both the main characters of the film. Both Doris and Marion barely have any life or story outside of the daughter's story, and if they did, it's barely ever shown or explored on the screen. Their screen time is less a priority than that of the daughter character. This is one of the major reasons why I believe that the Mamma Mia films have a better representation of the mother-daughter relationship, because both the daughter and the mother share equal right to the role of the protagonist. Not only that, but Donna is shown to have a life outside of her daughter Sophie, and vice versa. We see them not only as mother and daughter, but as individuals, as women, with their own personal lives. Whereas Doris and Marion feel more like semi-typical mother characters with a few more traits thrown in to give them a bit more character and humanity. But we know barely anything of their story and their personal lives outside of the daughter. They are portrayed as mothers first and women second. This is why I believe that Mamma Mia and Mamma Mia, Here We Go Again present one of the best mother-daughter relationships seen on film.
My love, my life, are the words I try to find. My love, my life, but I know I don't possess you. With all my heart, God bless you.